Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. Almost 1 year ago, back at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, Cartoon Network announced that they were partnering with Dynamite Comics to bring Ben 10 back in the form of a brand new comic book series. This was being reported, or marketed I should say, as being the first ever Ben 10 iteration in the form of a comic book series, which isn't exactly true, as Ben 10 throughout its history has had some comic books that have been released alongside shows like Ultimate Alien and Alien Force and the original series, but I guess this is more so that this is the first ever canonical quote-unquote Ben 10 comic release. Again, it really remains to be seen what they meant by this, because that's really all we ever knew about this comic book series is, hey, we're making it with Dynamite Comics, and Duncan Rolu, one of the creators of Ben 10, a part of Man of Action, had said that this comic book series was supposed to release at some point in 2025. We're in July of 2025, and as I said at the start of this video, it's been almost a year since this comic book was first announced at San Diego Comic-Con back on July 26th of last year, being 2024, and there's really been absolutely no updates regarding the status of this comic book series and whether or not it's still coming. And at this point, I'd have to assume that this comic book series is not coming this year anymore. I mean, it is possible that they announce something at Comic-Con later this month and they say, hey, the Ben 10 comic book series, here's your first look at it, here's this brand new continuity we're starting with it, or hey, here's this continuation of the original continuity we're doing, or the reboot continuity, this is the series we're working on, this is the brand new comic book series that Ben 10 is going to be coming back to the masses in, because as we all know, this is going to be the first official Ben 10 content since the Ben 10 reboot ended all the way back in 2021. That is a possibility to happen at Comic-Con, but at the end of the day, I just find it rather odd that we have not heard anything about this series, and it was announced all the way back a year ago, and it's supposed to come out at some point this year. Like, wouldn't they want to market this series? Wouldn't they want to show that, hey, this is what we're working on, it's coming out August 31st, and you could expect weekly releases for this series, and here's what the art style is looking like, here's the premise of it, so on and so on. But no, we know absolutely nothing about it. Maybe this series is actually in some trouble, as Ben 10 News on Twitter has been reporting and following this over the past few weeks, that apparently Dynamite Entertainment, which is the company behind this new Ben 10 comic, is getting a new distributor in Lunar Distribution. The reason why is because their previous distributor, Diamond Comics, owes over $1 million to Dynamite after they filed for bankruptcy, and apparently Dynamite Comics has gone to the US bankruptcy court saying, hey, we can't make payroll next week because we don't have the money to pay our workers because we're waiting to get this $1 million that we've been owed. And apparently, according to Ben 10 News on Twitter, and again, shout out to them for compiling all this information, the court denied Dynamite's request, and the company is now in imminent financial trouble because, again, they can't make payroll. This is a situation that's going to be fluid and definitely something to watch, because if Dynamite Comics is now in financial trouble and they're kind of up in the air with, hey, we're not able to pay our workers, we're not able to print these new comic book series because we just don't have the money to do so, does that then put the fate of this Ben 10 comic in jeopardy? Does that then mean this comic book series is never going to come out? If I had to predict where this situation will go regarding Dynamite Comic and their financial troubles they're having right now, I think the situation will work itself out. I think they will find a way to get out of this financial problem they're having right now. I think with the new distributor coming in, they'll start to sell through them and they'll make money back that way. But imminently for Dynamite Comics, yes, they are in a little bit murky waters when it comes to their finances, and eventually they will get the $1 million that is owed to them by this other company, but it's going to take time through the bankruptcy courts and all that for that to get processed. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but nevertheless, it's just amazing to me that when it comes to Ben 10, we've been waiting so long, and the community has been craving for new Ben 10 content for the past 4 years, and in some cases, you know, someone like me who wasn't a fan of the reboot, maybe you're in the same boat as I am, we weren't fans of the reboot. We want to see a new Ben 10 series that's actually action-oriented, that's meant for older audiences, and we've been waiting for that show to come since 2014, so as a community, we've been patiently waiting for the next Ben 10. We've been kind of breadcrumbed here and there as to when a new series is coming, as to, hey, yeah, we're working on something at Cartoon Network, said Duncan Rolu back in 2021. You're going to hear about it at the end of the year. We never heard about that series. All of a sudden, he says, sorry, I misspoke. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer to tell you about this series, and that day never came. All of a sudden, Jason DeMarco comes in 2023 and says, hey, I'm working with Cartoon Network right now on some ideas for the next iteration of Ben 10. I'm not sure where any of these will go, but we're working on something right now. He takes that tweet down. We're in 2025. 5, and we yet to hear more about that. So essentially what happened, and I've said this in a multitude of videos, is whatever Duncan-Rolu and Man of Action was working on with Cartoon Network, that show's been canceled. It's not coming. They bring in Jason DeMarco, who's the Senior Vice President of Action and Anime at Cartoon Network. They bring him in and they're like, hey, you're our new action guy. What do you think we should do with Ben 10? He's working on some ideas. He's brainstorming things. You know, he's throwing darts at a wall to see what sticks. And we don't know if any of those hits landed. We don't know if Cartoon Network liked any of those ideas. And that's kind of where we are right now as a community. And this comic book series got announced last year. And while I'm not really a comic book reader, like back in the day, I did used to read the New 52 Batman comics back in like what, 2012, maybe when those were out, 2011, somewhere around there. I used to get the weekly Adventure Time comics back in the day as well. I've read Regular Show 25 years later, the comic book series that came out back in the day as well. From here and there, I do pick up a comic book series, and I am interested in seeing what this Ben 10 comic is. And the reason for that is because I'm craving new Ben 10, right? Just like the rest of the community, I want to see what's next for Ben. And unfortunately, the only thing we have right now is this comic book series because nothing else has been announced for this franchise. I'm not necessarily 100% going to get this comic book. I more so want to see what it's going to be. If it's something that intrigues me and piques my interest, then yeah, I'll pick it up week to week to see what it's all about. But at the end of the day, right now, it just kind of shows you as a community how much we want more Ben 10 comic, that this comic book series has gotten so much fanfare surrounding it, so many people talking about it. Because generally speaking, you know, if you look at like the Adventure Time comics or even Regular Show, they never really got that much hype surrounding them or that much talk surrounding them. The only two times I can recall that, yeah, the comics actually did have a lot of people talking about it was with Adventure Time after the show ended with season 10. I remember I made a video on this back in the day. I remember they announced that season 11 is happening in the form of a comic book series, and okay, that's from Kaboom Comics. They're making a continuation for the original Adventure Time, picking up where season 10 left off. Here is season 11. Okay, people were hyped about that. Then Regular Show 25 years later, as I mentioned before in the video, that was a series of comics that people were like, oh, they're bringing back Regular Show in the form of a comic book series 25 years later. People want to see continuations of these series with their fan favorite characters, and that's the same thing with Ben 10, right? We don't even know what continuity this comic is taking place in. We don't even know if this is the original continuity, the reboot continuity, or a brand new continuity in and of itself. People are just so excited to hear that, hey, there's some new Ben 10 coming in the form of a comic book series, that people want to see what it's going to be about, just because we're craving a new Ben 10 series, and this is all you're giving us right now. And even at that, this new series is up in the air. This new series has uncertainty behind it. It's just amazing to me to be seeing that Cartoon Network, the billion-dollar franchise Ben 10 that they own, the biggest thing they have ever created, has been treated like absolute garbage for the past 4 years. You can say what you will about the Ben 10 reboot. You guys know, watching this channel, I am not a fan of it. I don't like it. I hated that that was the direction they took Ben 10 in at the time, and I've said this multiple times in recent videos. They had Ben 10,000 on the table. They had a Ben 10 reboot on the table as to the two directions they were potentially going in following Omniverse. I always thought Ben 10,000 made the most sense. They decided they wanted to reboot the whole thing and make it a comedy like Teen Titans Go. Again, not a fan of that decision. Don't like the execution of it. Inherently, don't think it's a good idea. But at least the franchise was alive, right? At least the franchise was not dead like it is now. Because right now, for the past 4 years, Ben 10 has been a dead franchise. We've been breadcrumbed here and there that, hey, something new is coming. We're working on something, but nothing official has come out regarding any of those series they've been working on, which at the end of the day makes you think that, hey, are you not working on anything for Ben 10 right now? Are you actually gonna leave this franchise on the table, leave it in the archives to collect dust? That's what it seems like is happening right now. Although, as I've said in other videos this year, they are making more merchandise for the series. We obviously got that massive controversy with the complete collection for the original continuity, so Ben 10 is getting into the limelight again, and this comic book series is the next step in bringing Ben 10 back to the forefront once again, like it was throughout the 2000s and the early 2010s. But again, it's just a shame to be seeing that Ben 10 as a franchise has so much uncertainty surrounding it because of Cartoon Network's lack of leadership and lack of an ability to actually tell us what's going on with the franchise. Even if they don't have a concrete idea as to what they're doing next, just say, hey, we're working on something right now for Ben 10. That's what they did with the Powerpuff Girls. Craig McCracken has said that the series that they're working on hasn't even been fully developed yet. They haven't even finished their thoughts or ideas for it. It hasn't officially been picked up for a full season order. They're just developing something. Why don't you come out and say the same thing for Ben 10? That's what I don't understand. There's so much uncertainty surrounding this franchise. The one thing that's actually concrete and happening is this comic book series, and even that's filled with uncertainty now. It's been a year since it was first announced. We don't even know when it's taking taking place or what form it's going to take. And now the company behind that series is facing financial uncertainty right now that they can't pay their employees. So is this thing not coming too? It's just really a shame to see how this franchise has been treated and how it's just been left to rot and just nothing's being done with it. It's just really a shame, and I hope going into 2026, because at the end of this year, December 2025, is the 20-year anniversary of when the original series premiered on Cartoon Network. I hope for the 20-year anniversary in 2026, they actually do something with this franchise and actually bring it back into the limelight again. It would be so apropos for them to announce the next iteration of Ben 10 in December of this year when the anniversary hits and be like, hey, this year's the 20-year anniversary of Ben 10. In celebration of this, there's going to be a lot happening within the world of Ben 10 next year in 2026. And one of those things that you're going to be seeing on HBO Max, or you're going to be seeing on Hulu or Netflix or Amazon Prime Video, because we all know it's not coming to Cartoon Network given the state of Warner Brothers Discovery, is going to be the 6th iteration of Ben 10. We're returning to the original continuity to celebrate this 20-year anniversary. We'll tell you more details at a later date, but look forward to that. That would be absolutely amazing to see, and I'm really hoping that they don't fumble the bag when it comes to Ben 10's 20-year anniversary, because they could really make this something special, and they've been building up to it with everything they've been doing this year regarding the franchise. But again, we have to wait and see what happens from here, because right now, as it stands today, there is no confirmation of a new Ben 10 series in the form of a TV show, nor is there any confirmation or clarity as to what's happening with this comic book series. There's so much uncertainty surrounding the franchise right now, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the current state of Ben 10 as a whole, as a franchise, and what do you think is going on with this comic book series? Because it is absolutely insane that this thing was announced a year ago. We have no updates on it. Now there's financial uncertainty with the company that's making this comic book series. Like, what is going on here? What is happening to Ben 10? This is the biggest franchise Cartoon Network owns, and it's an absolute dumpster fire right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.